Hey there, fellow Waddell collectors. Welcome back. Davey Dion here in the video game room slash storage room. As you can see, I still have the stuff piled up from my recent Craigslist haul that I did a video on not too long ago as I continue to sort through and decide what exactly I'm going to do with those pieces. I've been asked by a handful of subscribers, hey, could you talk about this new retro line? And I think they want me to talk about it because they're disappointed and they want to get my take on it. A lot of people seem disappointed, or as Justice Curry put it, butt-hurt Joe collectors are concerned. And, you know, I'm a fan of the ARAH G.I. Joe era. I have a lot of pieces from my own childhood that I still have from that I've shown in some of the tours. And I'm also a fan of the original 60s America's Movable Fighting Man and 70s Adventure Team. You know, I'm a fan of that stuff all the way along. And so recently, Hasbro, in the last couple of years, they've been doing these retro things. Most recently, they've done the Star Wars retro since they have the Kenner's license now. And they've reproduced what look like original Star Wars character figures on cards that look like they're really beat up. So it looks as though they might be aged 70s carded figures or aged 80s carded figures. You get the idea. And a lot of collectors are really happy with how those came out. They've also done recently the Ghostbusters, the original Kenner's Ghostbusters, that are really close to the original Kenner line of Ghostbusters, and a lot of people were happy with those. And of course, Transformer collectors have been getting a taste of this for a few years, where they do nearly spot-on replicas of the original G1 Transformers. Hasbro's been cranking those out. So Hasbro says, yeah, we're going to do a retro G.I. Joe line, and everybody's like, hey, that's great, because, you know, for some of the collectors, it's the nostalgia of having it on the card, something that looks close to the original, because a lot of collectors can't afford that stuff. Even loose, a lot of raw G.I. Joe figures are very expensive. So they released their retro line. And what they basically did was took 25th anniversary figures and put them on what looks like a retro card. And, you know, taking a look at these here really quick, you got Storm Shadow, you got Snake Eyes, you've got the Baroness, and the card art is fantastic and looks just like the original card art pretty much. It's very close to the original card art, with the exception of that is a repainted 25th anniversary figure. Then you got the two vehicles. You got the Cobra Hiss, which was also reissued already in 25th anniversary, and the AWE Striker. This is the 25th anniversary Striker and Crankcase. And problem, of course, there is with the two vehicles that they're close reproductions of the O-ring G.I. Joe vehicles with a 4-inch figure instead of a 3 3/4 inch, which is a true 1/18 inch scale or 1/18th scale figure. They don't fit in the vehicles properly. So this is what they gave us. They did not give us O-ring figures. They did not give us 1/18th scale figures, 3 3/4 inch most commonly known. They did not give us true retro reproductions. They took a handful of 25th anniversary figures and slapped them on a card that's similar to a vintage 80s card because it's reproducing the original artwork. And a lot of Joe fans who were anticipating much more than this are very disappointed, as am I. I'm disappointed in this as well because this is a real cheap shortcut being taken by Hasbro, who basically doesn't really seem to care what their consumers think. You can't tell me they didn't know what you would want out of this retro line, because they've had their finger on the pulse with the Transformers, with the Ghostbusters, and with the Star Wars retro. Those formulas worked. Then they do this. And there's another channel called Analog Toys. It's a guy out of Australia. And I watch his videos because I like Analog Toys, because you can tell he's really passionate about what he's doing. And I always appreciate it when somebody's really passionate about the things that they discuss and talk about. And he made an interesting observation. Basically, he said, who opens up a toy line with 3 figures? Why would they do that? And I can answer that question. It's because they're being cautious. There's one of 2 explanations to this, why they released this, because this is, quite frankly, unacceptable, it seems, to the majority of Joe collectors. And for me, the only thing that really catches my eye is the card art. But it's been done. This is just a copy of the original card art. Nothing new here. And if they were going to go full retro, they should have made O-ring figures, and they should have reproduced it closely. I'm not a big fan of reproductions because new people can be fooled by reproductions and pay top dollar for something that's not authentic. But as long as it's marked properly, I'm cool with it. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it. So number one, they're worried that this wasn't going to work. And they're going to say, okay, we don't want to invest too much in this and have it backfire. So let's just put a couple out. Let's just put out 3 and see how people react to it. And if they don't like it, then we haven't put too much money into this. That's number one. Maybe just to test the waters, putting their toe in, so to speak. Explanation number 2, they're pulling the new Coke versus classic Coke okey doke. If you're old enough to remember in the 80s when New Coke did this, and this is proven to have been the case now at this point, that they came out with New Coke and got rid of the original Coke formula so that they could switch it later. They were going to come out with what they were referred to as classic Coke after enough of their consumers were pissed off and say, hey, we're doing what the fans of our product want. Here you go. Here's your original formula back. No hard feelings. But it backfired on Coke really bad, if you recall. So much so that for the first time in history, Pepsi became the #1 soda brand. Pepsi made so much money in the 80s because of that fiasco with Coke that they didn't know what to do with it. I used to work for PepsiCo. I worked as a skilled processor in one of their Frito-Lay divisions. They had so much money, they made billions. They bought out Frito-Lay, Tropicana, Quaker Oats, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, you name it. They became Young Foods International because of the mistake that Coke made pulling that okey doke on consumers, and the consumers didn't go for it. And I'm wondering if, again, they're nervous. Hey, can we really get away with this? And so they only made 3. Or B, they're going to flip-flop and be like, oh, we're sorry. We didn't realize that's what you really wanted. Here, we'll go ahead and produce the ones you want now. And somehow make more money off of that. And either way, it kind of sucks because they're producing a product that the people just don't seem to be that interested in. And you can complain about it till you're blue in the face with these companies, all of them, it doesn't matter. I see it with Hasbro, I see it with Funko, a lot with Funko. I've seen it with Mezco. Consumer complaints, NECA even, and they're ignored. They're ignored because as long as they're making the money, as long as these products are going to the stores and being sold, and until enough of it sits on the shelves, becomes shelf warmers that the store doesn't want to accept them, they'll keep doing it because they got their money. They got their money. That's a big complaint about the next wave, the Target exclusive wave of G.I. Joes that just came out. People are really hot under the collar about those right now, and it's I'm going to show those in the next weekly roundup here because they came and went like instantly, as I'm sure you're aware. Customers were upset. Hey, we need to complain to Hasbro. Good luck. They made their money. Hasbro made their money. They don't care if a bunch of flippers and resellers got them, and you didn't. They got paid, and they're not going to listen. The only way they're not going to listen is if you don't buy them, and that's not going to happen. But yeah, I'm disappointed in these as well. I had even speculated on it in the weekly roundup where I showed these, and I said basically, yeah, I'm on the fence because I really like the card art, but the card art is not enough for me to go out and purchase this product, and so I'm going to pass on it ultimately. And yeah, I'm a huge GI Joe fan. Again, of the ARAH era, of the America's Movable Fighting Man, the original '60s, and the Adventure Team. And one of the big things that were important about G.I. Joe always has been the card art. Even you go back to 1964, the box art's outstanding. And that was a big deal in those days, 60s, 70s, and 80s. They wanted dynamic card and box art. All companies, most companies were very good about it, and it's gotten sloppy in the last couple of decades with the adult collectors market. A lot of these manufacturers have forgotten that, and what can I say? But yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in these. I think it was lazy and sloppy of Hasbro. And I mean, if you like them, go get them. I'm not telling you not to collect them because it's a matter of taste. But apparently, there's an overwhelming feeling of disappointment with how that came out. And again, I'm wondering if A, they're either testing the water to see if anybody's even going to go for it, or B, they're gonna pull the okey doke like Coke and Classic Coke. If you have any thoughts on the subject, feel free to just post them in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about it. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you get where I'm coming from. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. Check out some of our other videos. We do a lot of stuff on this channel. It's all in nostalgia, and we hope you'll join us. Take a look at the links down below for our Facebook, our Instagram, all of that stuff. And what more can I say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.